Okay, so the hardware stuff. The first thing I want to check out with my virtualized eSXI host, make sure my virtualization is on. And yes, it is on. I am going to turn everything on in point of fact. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to add a second network adapter. The network adapter, the network that I'm going to use already exists. I'm going to put it in VMnet 0, which is natted, VMnet 2 rather, which is host only. And I'm going to add another hard drive. Next, I have the option of NVMe. I'm going to go with SCSI. When I added, so with some of these, if it's a server class operating system, it might just pick NVMe for you. Say, pick that first, recommend it. As it is, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it a 150 gig drive. I'm going to allocate all my, now I'm not going to allocate all my disk space now because that would be ridiculous. That would take up a lot of space. But I am going to set it up with a single file. This will make it easier when I clone this thing to do that. Next, VMDK1, good. Finish. Now, this might cause some problems later. Once I clone this thing, I might have to deal with the fact that I've got two different devices cloned with the same, essentially with, they may have the same UUID on these drives. Click OK. Now, going to power it back up. I'm going to go back in to the, I'm going to configure that other NIC. Now, if you configure this other NIC, I'm going to give it an IP address. But because it's more or less there for for a management network, I'm not going to turn it on because otherwise some of my pings will fail. Then I'm going to do the rest of this, data store and virtual switching and that sort of thing in the vSphere. I'm going to do all of that, then clone this. Let's see. Actually, you know what? I'll do the data store later. Let's see. Go. So, pause this so I can log in. So I can view my management network. I can see my two NICs. I can see it there. I'm not going to do anything with it just yet. Let's actually check that. So you know what? Okay, now we are choosing the default network option. Yeah. If we want both of these on at the same time, that will confuse things, particularly if they're not in the same subnet. So IPv4 configuration. Okay. Okay. Done. Let's see. So let's fire this up over here in my Windows. Now that I know it's online. Pausing again. And one thing I've discovered is that Google Chrome is easier to use. Google Chrome is a lot more responsive when it comes to this kind of thing. And I actually still have traces of these. Note, only host 1 exists right now. Let's see if it works. Okay, it's going to warn me because I have a certificate error. That's okay. Right now, none of these other things exist, but I could create new hosts and such like fairly easily. So root. This thing remembers other logins. Pausing one more time. Now, so I don't need the customer experience improvement program because I'm not actually on the net. I can't tell them anything. What I could do here, actually, I've got devices. See, I have my 2 devices. I have my local CD-ROM. I've got my local VMware. I could actually, if I didn't want to try to map this to anything, actually now that I've got my Win 10 system up and I've got the ISOs living on it, I could actually start uploading things to this. I'm not going to do that yet. The next thing I want to do, actually before, I could actually build the virtual switch and then go from there. And clone after that. But yeah, the next thing I'm going to do is clone this thing. So what I want to do is put this thing actually into maintenance mode. So what I will do is go to Actions and enter maintenance mode. Yes. Notice that I've got some other options here. I've got lockdown mode. I could either enter a strict or normal lockdown mode. I could go to permissions. I could open an SSH console for this host right here in Chrome. But what I'm going to do now actually is shut the thing down. Shut down. Notice I realized I didn't actually turn on snapshotting on this thing. So actually, let me go ahead and do that. It apparently VMware tools. Okay, VMware tool. Okay, no. So this is here. So it's shut down already. Good. So let me go ahead and do snapshotting. Ask me, because I do want to maintain these things. Now, so the next thing I'm going to do is actually clone this thing. So that'll be the next video.